there is something like fundamentally different when you consider yourself to be a player of the game.
Yeah.
Like even if you're right or wrong, you're at least aware of the game, which literally that's the middle name, security awareness trading.
You're putting fun in fundamental too, as well. Because no, I mean that's silly, right?
I know,
seriously,
but also
like
you're
how
right.
much fun are these people having where they're like, oh, now I get it. Let me see if I can F some people up, right?
I don't know if I told you, but like they individually tailored it to me specifically. Like somebody said, pretended to be National Geographic with like one extra paycheck or something. And I had to click on the thing and it led to an old promo image of me. It's incredible.
Kissing up to the teacher. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Dubs. Hey Jeff. Hey G James B.
Hey everybody. Good to see you again, G James B. G James B was by my office hours earlier today.
Your office hours?
Yeah.
Gee, where did you steal that idea from?
Every university in the world. Yes.
We just relive the exact same.
Yeah.
Discussion.
Exactly. We just reversed the roles.
Hang on.
Good to see a flying car 100 with the wrench.
Yeah.
With the wrench.
Yeah. I got to give more wrenches out. We got, there we go. Let me see what happens.
Are you giving wrenches out right now?
No, I'm just testing this, but I don't know if it's obscured by.
It's obscured by the other one. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well. But look at this. Watch this trick. Ready? Boop.
Whoa.
Magic.
Speaking of magic, should we do a show about cutting the cord?
Only if we could restore it, which is apparently the trick we want to do now.
Sort of.
I wish it was simple and that there was reliable programming.
No, to me, it's like I for a while I've been getting upset at people like, this is worse than cable. I'm like, it's definitely not worse than cable. But I am coming around to the like, but I think it may have gone too far. We could pull it back a little bit, you know? It's still not worse than cable. It's just bad in a different way now.
Correct.
Hello, Dylan.
Dylan Theus. All right. Are we feeling it?
I'm feeling it.
Let's do it.
In 3. Welcome to Cord Killers. We have killed all the cords, and now we're just looking around going, somebody needs to do something about all these cords, because I want to watch what we want, where we want, whenever we want. I'm Tom Merritt. What do we do with these cords, Brian?
Oh, my goodness. First, we have to find out. We're all trying to figure out who did this, they said, wearing a hot dog costume. Happy 11/11 to you, Tom.
Happy Singles Day and or Pepero Day. Do you know either of those?
No, I don't. I mean, I can imagine the singles.
Singles Day is a mainland Chinese thing that goes back in the 90s and had to do with, at first, with people who weren't dating, but now it's just the biggest sales day of the year. But the Pepero Day is in South Korea. You give people Peperos because they're like Pocky sticks, you know, like chocolate covered sticks.
Yeah. Crunchy tubes of chocolate.
Crunchy tubes of chocolate that look like ones.
Well, happy crunchy tubes of chocolate to you too, sir.
And to you, sir. Let's get into the supply run then.
Supply run.
Friends, the beef is with Movies Anywhere. The promise of Movies Anywhere, if you even know it exists, you may have hooked up stuff to it and forgotten it's running. It just runs in the background and means that if you buy a movie on whatever service you want, as long as it's participating in Movies Anywhere, you can buy it on Apple TV, watch it on YouTube. Buy it on Fandango, watch it on Amazon Prime. Just replicates your purchases across all your catalogs. Now, the weakness has been that a few studios don't participate, so it doesn't work for every single movie, but it really does work for most of them. However, we now have a new weakness. As of October 31st, Movies Anywhere posted the following. Effective October 31st, Google Play/YouTube will no longer participate in the Movies Anywhere program. Your old synced movies are still there, but if you buy one on Google Play right now, it won't sync. Disney owns Movies Anywhere. And Disney just happens, Brian, to be in a carriage fight with Google over YouTube TV.
Tom, are you familiar with the little old chestnut called The Prisoner's Dilemma?
I am.
Yes.
How would you apply it in this case, Brian?
Well, it seems to me that if what you wanted to do, since all brands are essentially just a marker of your reputation and an extension of your trust, it turns out that when you go up to a Coke machine and you press the Coke button, you expect to get Coke. And it seems to me if you go up to the Movies Anywhere machine and press the Movies Anywhere button, you expect, I don't know, a movie anywhere. And you most certainly don't expect to midway through drinking your Movies Anywhere, suddenly have somebody defect on The Prisoner's Dilemma and decide they don't want to be part of the cartel that promises that the experience is going to be better than piracy because you'll be able to watch your movie anywhere.
Now, here's the question. If you're like, why does this have to do with Disney and YouTube? What's going on with that? There is a dispute over how much money YouTube should pay to carry Disney channels, particularly ESPN, but also ABC and the Disney Channel and all the rest. The dispute went on through the month of October with them temporarily extending the deal, but they didn't extend the deal again. And so now, if you're a YouTube TV subscriber, you don't get any Disney channels. You don't get ABC, you don't get ESPN, you don't get the Disney Channel, you don't get Disney Junior, you get nothing from Disney. And we mentioned last week that Disney had pulled a few of its YouTube channels down, not all of them, but a few of them, and that YouTube was offering subscribers a $10 refund. They have now upped that to $20, and you have to apply for it, and then the credit will be issued tomorrow as we're recording, November 12th. Morgan Stanley estimates that this dispute is costing Disney $4.3 million a day in lost revenue. However, my theory is that Disney knows that YouTube TV is going to win this little section of streaming, the one that streams like a cable service, and they want to push the carriage fee as high as possible now, while YouTube TV is something they can negotiate with. They want to lock it in now, because YouTube is just going to get more leverage as they gain more and more of the subscribers in this arena. Disney also has a competing service coming in Fubo, so there's a little bit of that in Disney's side. So they're willing to give up a few $1 million. However, it is hurting Disney more than YouTube. And the question I have for you, Brian, is using your knowledge of The Prisoner's Dilemma and game theory, from the outside, who do you think booted who out of Movies Anywhere?
Okay, so first of all, the loser, no matter what, is of course the consumer. But the question is whether or not the frustration that consumers have, because this is Microsoft Plays for sure all over again, right? This is, no guys, don't pirate. We pinky promise this is going to be better. Psych. We have no incentives to follow through on our stuff. And in this case, they're essentially destroying that brand value. But the question is the loss greater or worse than the lost revenues due to an increase of piracy? And that will be very, very hard to track, that negative externality. Now, but if I'm going to pick the bigger loser, I don't know. It seems like everybody loses. I don't know.
Well, that's why I'm looking at this Movies Anywhere thing, and I can't not think it's related to this. No one has claimed it is related to this, but it's Disney and YouTube, right? So I tend to think that Google, the owner of YouTube, is the one that pulled out of Movies Anywhere, because that hurts Movies Anywhere. That makes Movies Anywhere's brand less valuable if someone's like, wait a minute, I bought a movie on YouTube.
You know what? Actually, Tom, I think you just stepped in it. The person who pulled out, yeah, the entity that pulled out is the one that is less associated with Movies Anywhere. So YouTube, very little association with Movies Anywhere. I don't go to YouTube. When I want to buy a movie and play it anywhere, I don't go to YouTube. I go to Disney, though, and Disney's the entity that I buy movies from. So Disney is the one that's being hurt more by damaging Movies Anywhere, which therefore means I declare that Google did it in the foyer with the candlestick.
I think you're right, because in the end, this is not going to hurt the consumer, because what's going to happen is they're going to resolve this carriage dispute. Everybody's going to get a little credit on this month. The channels are going to come back. This will last for 10 years and you won't have a dispute between these two for a while. And Movies Anywhere will be restored. And when it's restored, suddenly all of the movies you bought in the interim on YouTube will now sync through Movies Anywhere. And going forward, they all will. So it's just a temporary disruption. But it's calling out, like, do you want it to be permanent, Disney? Would you like it so that people who buy movies through YouTube don't sync across and don't use your platform, and the Movies Anywhere brand is damaged and people start wondering what it is and start looking at the fact that it's controlled by you, ... That is not the thing that's going to bring this carriage dispute to the end. But I think what's interesting about this is we have so many more tools in this. They were talking about this on the Town podcast when they were discussing this earlier this week. There are so many more tools in these disputes than there used to be. It used to be the cable company could broadcast directly to the consumer and say, Disney's being a jerk. And Disney could broadcast on its channels and say, Comcast's being a jerk. And that was it. You just basically had to have a slap fight in public. Now you've got all these ancillary businesses, and YouTube TV is a rounding error on YouTube's revenue, much less Alphabet's revenue, the owner of Google. So it doesn't care the way Comcast did. Comcast cared. YouTube is like, nah, we don't really care that much. We can extend this as long as you want. Disney probably cares a little more. It's still not a huge deal, but they're willing to go to bat and say, let's drag this out because this is going to set a precedent, because we're at the beginning of a battle. The beginnings and endings of battles are always the bloodiest ones. And we're at the beginning of a battle here where we're going to have a new landscape for these kind of streaming services.
So do you think, here's the question, was this a fatal wound to Movies Anywhere? Like, is the mere fact of showing that at any point this completely reliable, trustworthy entity could be yanked out from underneath you?
Most people don't even realize they have it. Right. And by the time many people would notice this carriage dispute will be over.
Well, and that's interesting. This is a little bit like extended warranties, where the actual value of extended warranty is not in any kind of service or payoff or benefit or whatever. The value is a thing for salespeople to say to get people over the cusp of making the sale.
Worry. Buy it here. You can still watch it on that other thing you like.
And extended warranties still get sold, which tells me that Movies Anywhere could continue to be a thing to say to get people to buy it.
Absolutely. And in a week or two is when I guess that they will figure this out. Then this won't matter anymore. The other conspiracy theory out there that I think is worth paying attention to is the idea that because Disney launched ESPN as a streaming-only service, that they're using this carriage dispute to funnel subscribers over to ESPN. I don't think that's how I'd put it. I think Disney knows it can weather the storm a little longer because it has an alternative. There's another tool that they can use in this battle to be like, well, hey, if all you want was ESPN, we can actually offer that to you, something you couldn't do in the old cable versus network days. I don't think it makes sense for Disney to blow off the $4 million a day they're losing just on the hopes that they can convince a few people to come over and sign up for the new ESPN service. They have much better ways of getting people to sign up for the new ESPN service. So to me, it's more having that means they can weather the dispute longer, but I don't think that's why they're doing the dispute.
This is an interesting twist, Tom, because in the old cable carriage disputes, PR was never a factor. Nobody liked the cable companies. Nobody was voting. Also, nobody had a choice. Whereas in this case, similar kind of vibe of dispute. However, mudslinging, it does have an effect on both parties. It is a popularity contest, and the people who are going to be the swing votes are going to decide who's the jerk, and then the jerk will probably have to fold.
Yeah. And it'll be based on somebody's gut feeling at some point, because the math is there. The math is easy. Come to agreement on your number or sharing the data of your subscribers or whatever it is. This is all about feeling out whether you think you can give the side to give you one extra point on that number or not. And Disney feels like they have to lock in the highest rate now because YouTube is only going to get more popular. And they're going to go to battle with YouTube TV once they take full control of Fubo and Hulu Live TV and merge them together. So they want to be getting as much out of YouTube TV as possible while they're not seen as a direct competitor to them.
Yeah.
All right. We are a direct competitor to all of them, right, Brian?
Yeah. Well, you know what? You're right, Tom. We should have disclosed this early on. Part of our standard disclosure, we are in direct competition with both Alphabet Corporation and Disney. We would like to insist that 100% for true parity, 100% of their user base also just, I'm thinking fairness doctrine here, subscribe to us for $1 per episode at patreon.com/cordkillers. Now, we are willing to make some concessions.
Yeah.
Yes, we will be kept loud, live, and independent. We will continue to bring you the news of cord killing as we have for 15 years and counting. But on top of that, we are willing to allow early access to the full experience, exclusive access to the After Talk segment, and we'll put it all in one convenient RSS feed for everyone. Just to reclaim this incredible offer, head on over to patreon.com/cordkillers.
Do it now. And now to the search party. Netflix held a Stranger Things Season 5 premiere in Los Angeles last Thursday at a theater and everything. Afterward, it posted the first 5 minutes of episode 1 of Season 5 on YouTube. Volume 1 of Stranger Things Season 5 set to drop on November 26th, Volume 2 on December 25th, and the series finale on December 31st. Netflix also released a trailer for Tales from 85, which is an animated series that takes place between seasons 2 and 3 of Stranger Things. Same characters, new voice cast, though, and that is coming in 2026. Hey, are you getting any Stranger Things fever, Brian?
I'll tell you what, I think it's an impressive and bold move from Netflix to just basically say, the holidays, we own them. It'll be fine. You're all going to like it. It's good enough. Let's go. Did you watch the first 5 minutes?
I did. And it confused me a minute because there's a bit of a flashback in it. And I was like, wait, that didn't happen last season. I'm like, oh, right. Because this is showing me something previous.
Well, and first of all, I think that, remember last time, I think it was last week, I was speculating on how this would perform for people who fell off to come back. This was a very effective on-ramp where it's like, you remember the first season, I bet. Yes, I do. Great. So you remember this? Also, first thing I didn't even make it 2 minutes, was already ChatGPT asking, did they digitally de-age people? Because that looks pretty digitally de-aged.
Yeah. And?
Yes.
The answer was yes. Gotcha. At its annual N7 Day, which is it's kind of a, fan convention for BioWare. BioWare announced that Amazon's Mass Effect TV show is in production. A blog post noted that the show will explore a brand new story within the universe's timeline and will be set after the original trilogy. It won't be a retread of Commander Shepard's story because, after all, that's your story, isn't it? Show is expected at the end of next year. Amazon has not announced a definitive date yet, though.
This is kind of brilliant. I like the admission that it's like Commander Shepard's story is your story because, of course, you get to customize your Commander Shepard, male or female. You get to romance whoever you want. But along the way, you develop a deep affinity for a giant cast of characters, and seeing them show up in a TV show, I think will be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Even setting it after, you still have a Commander Shepard that's a big part of this universe that you might want to refer to. So I'm curious how they're going to handle
about
that.
Commander Shepard. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're going to have to be careful how they refer to Commander Shepard. Because
with
he or they
whatever,
or she or all of that. So
wouldn't it be great if they do kind of an Ender thing? Did you ever read the sequels to Ender's Game where he was essentially a religious figure but he was still alive because of relativity?
Yeah, they could do something like that actually, and that would work pretty well. Warner Brothers is officially reviving the Gremlins franchise with a new installment coming November 19th, 2027. Steven Spielberg will return to executive produce, but filmmaker Chris Columbus will direct.
I think that's great. Which of the Harry Potters did he do? I think it was 3.
He did the original Harry Potter.
This just in, hot off the wire, Tom. Warner likes money. Turns out Warner
news.
likes money. Breaking.
Yeah.
Breaking.
Do we need a new Gremlins franchise?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
No.
We don't need. Not
you
need. Do we want one? Maybe. Maybe we do. Let's see.
Here's the thing. Gremlins is not a precious franchise. It's beloved and remembered for one very dark story about Christmas. It's remembered and beloved for being a very unlikely Christmassy movie and for doing little satirical one-note jokes in Gremlins 2. That's a rich playground where you get to do a bunch of... Also, I think humans are in the mood for practical effects. They're puppets, hilarious puppets. Go.
Yeah. Paramount has inked a new 5-year media rights agreement to make Paramount Plus the streaming home of PBR. Not Pabst Blue Ribbon. Sorry. Professional bull riders. Huh? That turned your boo into a yay. No?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Unleash the Beast tour will start on Paramount Plus in the 2026 season on December 12th.
Is bull riding politically coded?
Probably.
Yeah, I guess it does.
Because you can't spell probably without PBR.
Or problem.
Or problem.
Probably.
Sure. And since everything is politically coded, yes, I'll say definitively, yes, it is. I think what's more important, though, is that this is the most popular sport Paramount Plus can claim right now, next to college football, because they have all the CBS college football stuff. They have a little bit of NFL stuff with CBS as well, so it's not like they're zero. But when you're talking about exclusives, you are never talking about the big sports. You're always talking about WWE or women's NBA or Major League Soccer. And I think professional bull riders is right there of like, oh, okay, this has got a dedicated following that is very enthusiastic and will come over to Paramount Plus because we're going to make it the place to watch it.
To be honest, I think that the closest comp is Netflix deciding to bring F1 to the USA. I think that essentially you're taking a niche, beloved sport that has a rich opportunity to tell incredible behind-the-scenes
Well, it's already
stories.
in the USA. They're just taking it away from where it had been.
Well, my point is it's at a layer of popular culture that is beneath a certain threshold. So it's essentially taking it from the minor leagues and putting it on the big stage.
Yeah. I see what you're talking about. Yeah, absolutely. Paramount giveth and Paramount taketh away. No more Star Trek Kelvinverse. If you don't know what the Kelvinverse is, that's the one with Chris Pine and Simon Pegg. J.J. Abrams directed a couple of those movies. They had been continuously telling us they were working on the next one, and rumors would come and go whether directors and actors were attached. But they have now apparently ended all work.
To be honest, I think that this is a strong endorsement of their mainstream Star Trek strategy. I think that what they're saying is, no, we're good. We don't need to hedge. We don't need a separate strategy for the big screen. If anything, maybe the big screen has some beloved people that you have seen from Brave New World.
Yep. Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2 are going to be released as a single film later this year, starting on December 5th, under the title Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair. The running time of both movies back-to-back, which are a single story. It's just because they were so long, they were released as two different movies. The running time is 4 hours with a 15-minute intermission, which tells me you're going to watch Volume 1, take a 15 intermission, and watch Volume 2. That's probably
yes. However, Although it wouldn't surprise me if maybe they change the cliffhanger moment a little bit. Yeah.
Try to shift that to subvert your expectations.
I'm going to bet that, as we know, Kill Bill came out around the time that Quentin Tarantino started owning the fact that he was more of a remix artist than he copped to originally. And I'll bet that we are as far away from the original release of Kill Bill as Kill Bill was away from the source material from which it remixed at the time.
Yeah.
About 20 years.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Maybe even a little farther now from
Isn't that
Kill
wild?
Bill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Quentin Tarantino kept working on a Star Trek movie for the Kelvinverse. So that is gone now as part of that. Side note. Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender has wrapped filming of its third and final season. They filmed seasons 2 and 3 back to back. So now both are in post-production.
Yeah, dude. Anybody still wanting to poop all over this?
Any takers? No?
Any takers?
Yeah.
Do we still hate people trying to make good reinterpretations?
No? Do we?
Yeah,
Cord
maybe
killers
cordkillers@gmail.com. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I will do a quick PSA. We had one very thoughtful email this week, but I like the spicy takes. So now's a good time. You want to take me on? As I've said before, I am in favor of swinging for the fences. And that means, although I understand if you already got a Fallout tattoo, if you're wearing a Fallout watch, maybe you're nervous if Fallout gets adapted into something, maybe it's going to be good or bad. A lot of people pooping all over Cowboy Bebop before it even came out. Turns out you were right. But the point is, I'm always in favor of trying, and no matter how many swings, I want to see people keep trying on the Airbender story. Come at me, cordkillers@gmail.com.
Does that mean you're cool with Toy Story 5? Because they're just trying.
Yes, I am. Now,
Toy Story 5 trailer just came out. I don't know if you even had a chance to see it.
Oh, I missed this.
I put this in right before the show.
Oh, doggone it. Did you watch it? How was it?
It is just a teaser. You're not missing much. It just shows all the toys that you're familiar with from Toy Story, like Dino and everybody. Like, ooh, a new box arrived. It's a new toy. And then they open it up and it's Lily Pad, an instructional technology toy.
Oh, so it's an iPad.
And then it shows them all looking frightened and unsure what's going on. Greta Lee is apparently voicing Lilypad. Toy Story 5 set to hit theaters June 19th, 2026.
That's great. Lilypad is a good riff on Leapfrog, which is a good general stand-in for all our toddlers playing with iPads.
Yep, exactly. On to the buried treasure.
Most people want to know why they suddenly got rich.
Buried treasure.
Well, this is usually a segment where Brian and I each bring something we've been watching so that you have a couple things to add to your to-watch list. Maybe you can discover something you wouldn't have discovered otherwise. But we got the same thing this time. We have both watched the first episode of Pluribus. I have watched also the second episode of Pluribus. That's all the Pluribus that is out. If you don't know what Pluribus is, it's Vince Gilligan's new show, he of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul fame. It stars Rhea Seehorn, she of Kim Wexler from Better Call Saul fame. And it is not at all related to Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul.
Or is it? I'd like to believe it is an actual sequel.
Well, they did a promo for it where they got Bryan Cranston and Gus Fring, and like pretty much everyone from the Breaking Bad universe to show up in it. But maybe it is. I mean, this is not Kim Wexler, but we are in Albuquerque. So
that's true.
Who knows?
So here's your last chance to press pause and go in blind. I will say there's a fine surprise that you spend a fair bit wondering where this is going. You find out where it's going, and it turns out, I swear, spoiler alert, turns out it's going to one of my favorite Rick and Morty episodes. It's great. It's great. It's a great show.
Vince Gilligan doing a fine job with it. I found out a tiny bit about it before I watched it, and it turned out to be a misleading tiny bit. It was accurate, but led me to expect something that I was incorrect to expect. And so I found it to be still kind of a nice surprise. I think it is fair to say, without being spoilery, that it is very good at genre bending, at taking a genre and turning it so that it's still technically the trope or the genre that you're talking about, but in an entirely new perspective.
Yeah. Did you call either of those numbers?
No, but I saw you tell me that you can call them.
Yeah.
What happens when you call them?
Well, here, I'll do it right now live on the air.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
Here we go. I'm calling a phone number in Washington, D.C.
Hi, Carol. We're so glad you called. We can't wait for you to join us. Dial 0, and we'll get back to you via text message.
It's great. It's a great show. Watch it.
Yeah. We will talk spoilery about it in After Talk, right?
Oh, yeah. After Talk. You're talking about the exclusively for patrons segment that we do.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would just say, if you don't want to be spoiled, or if you haven't watched it yet and you don't want to be spoiled, go give it a shot. Go give it a shot. I saw so many different people. This is one of those shows where I'm like, wait, that person and that person don't usually agree on TV, and they're both raving about this, that I had to give it a watch. If you got something we should be on the lookout for, email us cordkillers@gmail.com.
Tom, I don't know that I want to watch anything. I want to just read a book. Call me old-fashioned, but you know what? I'd like to learn a little more about something. Too bad there's nothing out there.
I'm sorry, Brian. I totally missed what you were saying because I was too engrossed in my own book that I am reading right now.
Wait, what is it?
Synced. Know a little more about tech. This is a compilation of a lot of the information from my Know a Little More podcast that just tells you everything about technology, how networking works, how phones work, the history of desktop computers. You get it all. You get it told in a fun way, a way that assumes that you probably know something, but maybe you don't know everything. So even if you know about software and productivity, the chapter on Windows is going to tell you a few things you didn't know. It's super fun. You can find it now on Amazon as a Kindle ebook. It's available in other ebook stores as well. We're selling it directly as a PDF and EPUB on dailytechnewsshow.com/store as well. And yes, this print version is nearing approval. So keep an eye out for that as well, and you'll be able to get it in print. You can find the details at tomsnewbook.com.
Tom, it seems to me, is this one of those awesome coffee table books where it's like, if you're a tech head, it's just out, you could just pick it up, open it anywhere and just know a little more?
Yeah. Give me a page number.
205.
205. Let me get to 205765. Bluetooth. Bluetooth is a rather old wireless technology standard meant for exchanging data over short distances. It was conceived of as a replacement for wires and is now used wirelessly. And then it goes on to talk about, the people in Sweden who named it after a king named Bluetooth and all of that stuff. So yeah, just pick it up, take a look, tomsnewbook.com.
Right on.
Now we scan the horizon.
Send a scanning to avoid.
Scanning the horizon!
Amazon Prime Video has a series called House of David that shows the story of the rise of the biblical King David. Opens season 2 with David versus Goliath. And Wonder Project, which produces it, says it has used generative models, AI, for 350 to 400 visual effects shots this season. That's about 4 times what it used last season. Wonder Project says it used the tech for crowd replication, but also to make some cool-ass stone fortresses, hillside fires, misty mountain scenes. You have real humans acting in the foreground. They're using it to generate the scenery behind them. Wonder says it is using a combination of models. So stuff from Google, Adobe, Runway, a company called Luma, doing some ray tracing. But this is causing a lot of eyebrow raising because they're being totally SAG-AFTRA compliant, but not worrying too much about what people are going to think about them for using these generative models.
I think part of that is an acknowledgement that there's no fighting City Hall, in this case, Robot Hall, right?
Yeah.
But also what this reminds me of, tell me if this sounds like a comp to you, is Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Very obviously, the matte paintings in the background are different than the cell-shaded cells in the foreground. And I think that SAG-AFTRA's battle was to make sure that it's humans in the foreground and they're less insistent on fighting about, like, fine, have rich matte paintings in the background.
I think there's still some fights over crew and folks that need to be honored here, and I think Wonder Project is respecting that as well. My take on this is Wonder Project is like, we're a niche filmmaker. We have a very enthusiastic audience that is going to see our stuff and watch our stuff on Amazon. And we're not too worried about that audience being mad. If anyone else is mad, well, they weren't going to watch our stuff anyway. So,
well, and that's just it, is it takes for when you have one of these niche markets that are, forgive me, judgment proof, they only worry about one judgment. The man upstairs.
That's right. Yeah. Wait, you're in a 2-story house.
No, that's right.
Not
That's
at the moment,
me.
right? Yeah.
But I think that's that makes sense that would be the outlier.
Yeah. I think this is the sort of the thin edge of the wedge in this sort of thing, is you start to see the indies folks using it, and then the big studios go, well, look, they're using it and the world didn't end, and look how good it is. We could do it better than they did because their stuff isn't as good, and we can polish it. And that's how you end up getting this sort of thing used in the studio space. Speaking of which, Gemini is rolling out to Google TV devices as of this past Monday. Gemini also available on the Walmart On 4K Pro streaming device, which uses the Google TV interface. So you'll be able to just talk more naturally. You could talk to Google Assistant on these, but now that you have Gemini, you can speak in a more natural way.
Yeah, only peripherally related to Gemini. We're seeing the rollout behind the scenes on YouTube. You can now talk to YouTube Studio with that natural language, which is very interesting.
Warner Brothers Discovery announced earnings, and it's interesting, not because we care about earnings here, but because we know Warner Brothers Discovery is up for sale. We know that they want to split themselves in two. So let's see how the two sides are doing. Streaming and studios, which I have previously referred to as the profitable part, made a profit. $1 billion, up 58% for the quarter on revenue of $5.3 billion, up 8%. Global linear networks, which is all that other stuff, basically any network that's not HBO, profit fell 20%, still makes $1.7 billion on revenue, down 22% to $3.8 billion. Films revenue went way up. Ad revenue went way down. HBO Max added 2.3 million subscribers and now has 128 million worldwide. So that puts it right there with Disney and Netflix as far as like being in the 100 million club. Deadline sources say that Warner Brothers Discovery wants a sale to happen by the end of this year. And if it doesn't, it will continue with its plan to split into those two companies.
What an interesting, it's as though, I guess going back to biblical lore, it's as though the king is raising an axe over the baby saying, two people better want this baby real fast.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to chop it in half.
And one of these babies, Comcast, you could have half of this baby. We're fine with that if you want to buy, because I bet Paramount will buy the other half. We'll still split the baby if you want.
This baby's is in the way of this sword.
Yeah. I think, I don't know if we have a sale by the end of this year, but I think we do get a sale.
Fast.
Yeah. I do think we get a sale, and I think it will be to someone unexpected. And it might even be to two people. They might split the company and sell the pieces. AMC Entertainment saw revenue fall to $1.3 billion. That was down 11%. This is the AMC that does the theaters, not the AMC TV network. This is the AMC theaters. 11% decline in domestic box office, but that was expected. So they are very optimistic that they will have a bigger quarter coming. They also expect 2026 to be dramatically larger than 2025. And when you say, well, of course they're going to say that, these are investor statements. They can't be too off or they can get sued by their investors. So they have to have some reasons to back it up.
Yeah, and to be honest, this tracks with, post-pandemic, post-labor disputes. Finally, Hollywood got back to the business of making blockbusters, and it tracks that 2026 would be when they're all going to come out.
Yeah, they had a big Q2. Q2 is like April, May, June. And then just a softer third quarter comparatively. Summer's still a bigger movie time. It wasn't as big as it was last year. Sources told The Hollywood Reporter that Netflix has sent dozens of requests to agents at all the big agencies, WME, UTA, CAA, trying to add more video podcasts to the Netflix platform. The plan is that the company would like to launch a video podcast offering in early 2026, by which time it wants to have a library of shows.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've been thinking, they just want to get video podcasters to make shows for Netflix. And if it's their video podcast, that's fine. It sounds from what The Hollywood Reporter is saying that Netflix would like to have a podcast section of Netflix where you can watch podcasts.
So here's the problem, Tom, is I don't think that there are podcast fans, by which there are fans of podcasts.
Yes.
But there aren't people who just love the format of
the way they
podcast
love science fiction
or
example.
horror or adventure.
Right. Is podcast a genre?
It really isn't. It's just a modality. It's like, I love anything in a magazine. No, you love a magazine.
Is it, though, equivalent to TV show or movie? Like, is it distinct enough where you're like, these are the podcasts, these are the TV shows, these are the movies? That makes sense to me.
I guess it is distinct enough in that it is a thing to have on to keep you company while you do the dishes.
Yeah, versus a TV show, I expect to have a storyline or something, even if it's a
good enough
documentary.
TV show, like, for example, Pluribus, I would not recommend anybody do the dishes. Give it your full attention.
Right. And finally, CBS and Sony have resolved their differences. I know you were all worried, but they've come together. We talked about this previously over the distribution of Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. Sony will take over international distribution on December 1st. CBS handles U.S. distribution through 2028. Then it goes to Sony, and CBS will handle advertising through at least 2030, though it might continue after that. So basically, Sony's going to eventually take over the distribution. CBS is going to continue to handle the advertising. Sony has always owned those shows, Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, but CBS previously oversaw distribution as well as sales.
Tom, I'd like to think that we are brave enough and mature enough to admit when we got it wrong. This should have been the pissing contest that was our lead story, not this Alphabet versus Disney thing.
You think? Really?
This is the real cultural divide. Like, tearing apart Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. No,
but they've come back together. That now it's not interesting anymore. They've made up. So, and then it's just a bunch of numbers. All right, let's move on to the chatter.
Got mail.
Norm writes, "Hey Brian, with holidays and breaks coming up, I thought I'd throw out a potential evergreen topic. Lately, my YouTube feed has been serving up a steady stream of magic trick exposés, kind of like the ones Val Valentino did as the masked magician back in the day. Apparently, David Copperfield did use camera tricks to fly over the Grand Canyon. I know, shocking. What? Next, you'll tell me rabbits don't actually live inside top hats. That got me thinking. Where do you draw the line between demystifying magic to inspire curiosity and outright spoiling the craft? Does revealing the method kill the wonder, or can it actually deepen appreciation and spark new interest? I know Scam School takes a different approach by teaching tricks rather than just exposing them, but is there a meaningful difference between showing how something works and helping someone perform it themselves?"
Yeah, we can unpack this a bit more in After Talk, but Tom, I'm sure I shared with you, I had to do some deep introspection because Scam School was, the tip of the spear of nobody knew what to make of Scam School. Was it a TV show? What did YouTube count as teaching or exposure? And it became in retrospect very clear that magicians hadn't done a lot of economic theory. There wasn't a lot of studying the tragedy of the commons and figuring out about property rights, intellectual and otherwise. But essentially, both the Society of American Magicians and the International Brotherhood of Magicians define the difference between teaching and exposure down to one thing. Is there a specific action taken on behalf of the student to show that they want to learn magic? Is there some action that they do, whether it's going to the library, whether it's opening up the book of or the box of magic kits and practicing or not practicing usually the effect and doing it? Basically, in the case of the masked magician, The bummer about that was less, I suspect, about the teaching of the methods and much more about the attitude of just disrespecting the art in general. Everybody pretended as though it was the exposure that was the problem, but truthfully, it was disrespectful. It was a disrespectful show, and anyone who says otherwise clearly hasn't watched it in a minute. So in the case of Scam School, very clear hygiene. Number one, the lessons were always complete from beginning to end. Can you do the trick? Yes or no? If you cannot do the trick, then it was not a lesson. It was just exposure. If you can't do the trick, then clearly you were just taught something. And of course, YouTube has the advantage of requiring that you click on it. Shorts are a little bit different. You have to be more judicious in shorts because those do kind of leap out and attack you with knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the algorithm may think you want to learn that knowledge, but you haven't specifically requested.
Yeah. By the way, Norm is telling on himself because the algorithm isn't just deciding to serve you up magic lessons. That's what you lingered on, and it's just giving you more of it.
We hit upon a kind of a fun thing I think we're going to do on the It's a Thing podcast with Molly Wood, where Molly, Mia, and our producer Rich all did a screen capture of our Instagram feeds at the same time. And they were you'd think it was a different program. Like they were so wildly different.
It's a real problem, Tom. Like I truly believe that we need to eat our information vegetables. We need to have some kind of shared reality. There should be, and I would prefer it not be a government run thing. I prefer that of their own volition, all the streaming services agree on a few things they're all going to carry and dedicate 25% of their screen real estate on the front page to, so that we as a nation can, as a world,
as a planet, right?
Yeah,
because there's no more borders on the internet.
Some segment of our lives that is not, otherwise it's just candy. Every so often I make the mistake of opening the YouTube app instead of the YouTube Studio app, and when I do, my productivity is shot. It's got my number, and everything is, feels kind of like I'm learning, feels kind of like it's important. Yeah.
Well, and I know that everybody's algorithm is different. I'm the jerk in the room who pours cold water on people when they say, well, everybody's talking about it. And I'm like, well, are they though? However, I was still stunned to see Rich and Molly's feeds and go, there's nothing that was in my feed. Nothing.
That can't be healthy for us to live in totally different realities.
Yeah. Well, our reality is always your reality. So share this one at cordkillers.com. Our email address, please send us an email with your thoughts. I'm telling you, the condenser, the email, the better chance it gets read on the show, but we love getting any of them. So send them along, cordkillers@gmail.com. We're live on twitch.tv/nightattack and youtube.com/modernrogue, Tuesdays at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Pacific. Reckon we'll talk to you again next time. Woo! Happy Single.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
It sure does.
It never fails that I go and hit the button for the scroll to remember that I forgot to update the scroll this month.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's how you remember.
It really is. It's one of those things like as soon as we start the show, I'm like, oh, could I get away with doing that in the background while we're doing the show? Like,
Zoe is right. It is time to grab a quick coffee for Brian and everyone. And thank you, Dylan, for saying nice things about the show. But we're not done yet. Full experience coming shortly as soon as that coffee pot pours the coffee. I actually wanted to go grab some coffee this time, but I decided that I've had enough today. I'm just gonna not have, because I will turn into nothing but buzz. It's at a certain point you just collapse under caffeine and just turn into a vibrating beam. I'll probably have some after the show though.
For those that are wondering how often I have some input into the After Talk segment, I will tell you that since this is not the part that goes out, this is only the part that the live people see. I'm gonna talk some shit today.
Oh.
I got something to say on.
You got something in the after talk
today.
Damn. All right.
Yeah.
Is it about?
It's gonna be all me because of my particular disposition in this particular day.
Yeah.
But
it's not. Yeah. It's not about puppies refusing to poop in the snow.
No.
Okay.
Although that is very entertaining.
Yeah.
No, this is just. I mean, I don't have any other platform, and this is gonna. Just because we're doing the show today, it's going to come out on the after talk. So.
Is there anything you want to say about the topic, or would it be better just to?
I've already given so many clues just in what I've said. So
okay, all right. We're going to talk about Speed Racer Season 1, Episode 52, the final episode of Speed Racer, Race Around the World Part 2, shortly with Brian Brushwood. So hang around on the stream. There was a really good title from Moo Cow. What was it? Where was it? It was Movies Anywhere But Here. I can't find it, but I remembered it. I think that's funny. I don't know if it's the best title for like getting people to click, but it's definitely the funny one. I liked it.
Man, it is exactly like 20 seconds longer than I'd like for this, brew that was imported from the other hemisphere of the planet to be created instantly on demand between the magic wizard box, where somehow Brian is able to magically flap his gums alone in a room for the concept of money.
What a bunch of junk. Who used to say that? I'm trying to remember which of my relatives said, what a bunch of junk. I think it was my grandpa. What a bunch of junk. And he wanted to say what a bunch of shit, but he wouldn't. He wouldn't. Not in front of his wife, my grandma.
Can I tell you? I don't know if I told
wife,
you.
My sister. No, I'm just kidding. It was my grandma.
Look. You are from Southern Illinois, Tom. Like it's
all right.
So I think the word shit is completely shit is the new damn.
Yeah.
And damn was the new hell.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And ass, I think, is now just kind of lame.
Did you see there was like an official behind the scenes YouTube creator announcement there all and you're allowed to say the F word in the first 6 seconds now. And so like, it was very odd to see the official thing. You can now say, then they say the F word. And I'm like, what are you trying to ruin everything? Is there,
I hope to live long enough to where that's not even a swear word anymore, where it's like, oh yeah, no, people just say that. It's like saying dang. Like, we'll get there. I just don't know if I'll live long enough, but I hope so.
Well, it's already happened. I remember there was a book called The Host. It was a science fiction story, and it took place in the future where the F word was a compliment because effing is a good thing, but non-consensual effing was the R word, and that was the dirty curse word.
Okay.
And then now that's closer to he nailed it.
Yep.
People talk about grape instead. Have you seen that?
Yes. Yep. Apparently, he is cake means something to ChatGPT that I didn't intend. Because I tried to get Sora to say, Hammond reveals he is cake. Ha ha ha. And it gave me the suicide prevention hotline. I was like, no, I don't even want to hurt Hammond. I don't want to hurt anyone. I just thought it'd be funny if Hammond was like, oh, look, I'm cake. It's imaginary. I promise.
Well, usually the way you reveal something to be cake is with a knife.
Yeah, but I was able to word it in a different way to be like, Hammond hilariously in this imaginary world is cake. And then it was fine.
I bet what it did is
a frosted pastry, a decorative frosted pastry.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if cake was the problem or if there's some euphemism I'm unaware of out there.
Well, no. I'm certain what happened was because in order, Sora first obeys the user command, and then the very last thing it does is take a look at what hell it just wrought.
Yeah.
So my guess is it probably made something where to reveal his cake, it split his belly open, and then it was just, and then the censor part of it.
Every once in a while I get a like, this violates content guide rails against violence. And I'm like, whoa, dude, what did you make? Because that's not what I wanted you to make. But this was suicide, which I'm like, but I didn't say anything about myself in there. So, and maybe it thinks I'm Hammond. I don't know.
Yeah. It does confuse first, second person.
Yeah. My favorite one I posted recently, I asked it to do a baseball thing and it put the pitcher at home plate and the batter on the mound, and it had him throw the ball to the mound.
So English is a living language, and the English, because it's a living language, we all have this shared identity on what words mean and that they evolve. That is like the commonality of a living language.
Yeah,
right?
we don't have a French institute guarding the meanings of language.
But eventually, if it lives long enough and it continues to be modified, and if it's done so quick enough, then even the words we had agreed had a meaning no longer have a defined meaning that we can share between people. And I think there's some of that going on where generationally, things that my daughter says and the words she uses are a lot of the same words I'm using, but they're used in such a drastic different way.
Yeah, like crash out.
Like even crash out, I can understand that some of the words are just.
What is the alternate meaning of crash out?
Crash out would be to like throw a fit.
Oh, not to take a nap?
Yeah. No, exactly. But even that, I can see where they, where how that etymology kind of changed and how we're now using.
Are you thinking more of the 6-7 side of things?
Even that. See, I hear 6-7. I just immediately repeat 6-9. Like I'll take you. You give me a pair of numbers and I'll match you up. But these are things like I'm gonna have to start writing things down that my daughter says because they mean so drastically different.
I want them for it's a thing. Selfishly.
I can't follow the etymology to where you got where you are with this word from where what it meant my entire life, and now it means something completely different to this generation. It's like.
Well, my grandma used to complain about gay. And when I say that, it makes her sound like she was very intolerant. But all she would complain about was like, gay was such a great word for talking about being happy. And now when you say it, everybody misunderstands what I mean. And that's sad to me. She wasn't mad about people being gay. She was mad that the word meaning changed. And now she could only use it this way instead of the way she liked to use it.
And then you're all like, hush, Grandma, go get me a bundle of sticks. Or as you'd call it.
That's right. That's what I would say to her.
Yeah. There are certain words growing up that meant one thing that, at least in my young mind, didn't mean anything near what they mean now. And it's like, damn it.
Then she'd say, that's not enough sticks. Why are you being so with your sticks?
See? Eventually language will live long enough to not be useful. That's the whole point of that.
Yeah, maybe. I think it just keeps evolving, and old people like us always complain that it evolved while we were getting old.
Yeah, probably. All right, I'm going to disappear, and we're going to do. Wait, whoa, damn it! You know what I didn't do? I didn't do my banner.
Didn't do my banner.
We still love you.
However,
just do it now. It's fine.
Thanks, Tom. Part 2.
I'm going to go see the 4 and 8-year-old this week.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. Except by the end of the weekend, it'll be a 4 and 9-year-old.
Oh, well.
Actually, yeah.
But
no, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I lost a child.
Still works.
To what?
Adulthood.
Happens. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. Big week.
Let's see. Today's the 11th, right? So next week we'll be recording on the 18th, and the day after that, I will lose a child to full-blown adolescence. Yeah. Full teenagehood.
Wow.
So and that's my youngest one. That's kind of scary. Well, Tom, you're right in that same area. Or Brian, you're right in the same area.
Yep.
Yep. All right. That said,
did you get your banner done?
I did my banner.
Is it a David banner?
Yeah, no, Bruce Banner,
No.
because that's too, what's the word?
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Someone's about to crash out.
One way or another. All right. 3, 2. Welcome to the full experience. This is an experiment where we try to see if we can get the full experience of having watched an entire television show, but only watching 4 of them. The first, the ultimate, the lowest, and the last. Ultimate and lowest determined by IMDb ratings. And we are finishing up with the last episode of Speed Racer, Season 1, Episode 52, Race Around the World, Part 2. I'm Tom Merritt. He's Brian Brushwood.
Hey, Tom. Hey, Tom, I'm Brian. I'm talking as though I'm on a remote. I think a hurricane is coming. Back to you, Tom.
Thanks, Brian, and stay safe out there.
Hey, Tom. Brian here. Now talking like I'm leaving a voicemail message. Listen, I watched Speed Racer, and I thought it was interesting. Okay, I'm going to drop the bit. So as we do the full experience, pilots have a very particular flavor. Ultimate episodes, we always like to figure out, like, is this the ultimate because it was a giant payoff of a thing, or is it just an exquisitely crafted episode? The lowest episode, it's always a roll of the dice, whether it's lowest because it's same, or because it's a clip show, or if it's because they got experimental. But the last episode swings wildly. Sometimes you get very sad endings, like the end of Sliders, where very clearly, call to fight, they're already dead. And other times they're confusing. I'm looking at you, MASH, or they're incredible. I'm looking at you, The Shield. But in this case, I didn't expect. This was far and away, of the 4 episodes we watched, the most Speed Racer-ist. Racer-ish. I shouldn't call it racerist.
Probably you could be misunderstood.
That's right. That's right.
I agree. This was, I don't even know if I'd say the best episode.
I liked it the most. I
think I probably liked it the most, but it was the most Speed Racer, and it completed the circuit. We got Racer X.
Yes.
We got an actual episode that was all about a single race, although it was wildly around the entire world in an unbelievable way. Super fun. We got to see the Mach 5. Well, it wasn't the Mach 5 transforming. It was like we got to see Speed racing in different kinds of vehicles.
Yeah, I think 5 different vehicles. We had an ice boat. We had a tread tank.
Jeep.
We had submarines. We had Jeeps.
Submarine, right?
We had of course, the Mach 5.
We see the Mach 5 get totally destroyed, and then he gets back in it later. So, I suppose there could be more than one Mach 5, but it seemed fine.
To be honest, I loved the cameo of Racer X as this embodiment of this counterpoint to Speed Racer, where it's sort of like, I've heard it said that justice and mercy are not, it's not that one is good and the other is bad, but they're certainly at times at loggerheads with each other. And likewise, Racer X representing this discipline, everything in, you're a racer, aren't you? Then race. And that means defeat. That means honor your enemy by beating them, treat them with the respect. Don't be their training wheels. And I thought his kind of cameo as just there to shake a fist and leave a stern lesson, but whoops, did I forget this gasoline? I really liked it. And even per our full experience experiment, it does, like, we now, if in casual conversation somebody brought up Racer X, we'd know what they were talking about.
And he even says, like, I don't think he knows that I'm his long lost brother. Like,
right.
Oh, great. Now I already knew that but now in the context of the full experience, I know Racer X was Speed Racer's secret long lost brother. I wrote in my notes, that's good advice, Racer X. Thanks for the help, asshole. like kind of preachy, but at least you left me some gasoline. I loved the jump on the boat scene. where it's like Speed hasn't made it, so it's down to 2 because the other cars had to be pulled onto the boat by a big crane, and the Mach 5 is like, I'll just jump from the shore and land on the boat. Again, like totally silly, totally wonderful Speed Racer style stuff that I don't think I got enough of in the other 3 episodes. So yeah,
this whole episode in terms of narrative structure, very rock skipping across the surface, very same, but each skip of the rock was different enough that I didn't mind it. I'm going to ding the ending of it. Boy, oh boy, did I feel too overstuffed with empty calories with the Speed Racer. He's the best. He wins at everything. He's just awesome. And also, you're the president now. And also, you're strong. And also, here's a girl. But you don't even want her.
I forgive you.
Yes.
Oh, but if I wanted you, then that would undermine the premise of you learning, and your father forgiving you and blah, 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 blah. I was looking at that and saying, okay, they knew this was the last episode. So they're just like, let's just give everybody everything at the end. Let everybody go home happy. And then there are more races to be won, a whole world of thrills and adventure. And then I'm like, except there won't be another episode. So either they didn't know, and I don't know why they did that at the end, or they did know, but because of the way they know these would be aired, they were like, well, don't end it as if it's the end. Tease that there are more adventures because we're going to just start the series over again from episode 1. And the way these are shown on broadcast television at the time, this may be the first episode anybody saw. So you don't want them to feel like they missed that they missed out. And this is the end.
Yeah, it also feels a bit, I suspect that they were less thinking about the chronological, disorganization or as a motivation of it, and more of somebody said, wrap it up, give them everything, also leave the door open.
Yeah.
And then, so that's
for
add
multiple
a line
reasons.
about
You're
many
probably
more
right.
races.
And that could mean that Speed will go on for many more races. You won't see any of them, but the story continues. Blah, 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 blah. So I'm curious. Go ahead.
Moocow1452 in the chat says, might be a now read the manga ending, which I don't know if that's the case, but I do know that as I was watching it, there tends to be in each of the segments very rudimentary animation, which I associate. If you think of it as a cartoon, then the animation is very poor. But if you think about it as a manga brought to life, where it's like, here's a panel, you see 3 seconds of this panel with some motion, 3 seconds of this panel with some motion, then it reads different. And I liked it quite a bit through that lens.
Yeah, and Speed Racer came from a manga, like many anime. Mach Go 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 was the manga that first came out in '66, I think. And then this came out in '68, or at least came to the US in '68. I think it came to Japan in '67. But yeah, so it could be very much like, now, if you haven't bought it yet, go buy the manga or rent it from your comic book store, because we would like to continue to make money off of you. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. World champion, gold, possibly a bride, except he said no. Yeah.
Did you know that women have soft hands? That's how he figured out that it was a girl.
I realized that,
hands.
and it explained so much about people mistaking my identity. Also, I want to say something about the race around the world. Of course, it doesn't make any sense that they could do this. I'm not going to go there. But I thought it was interesting that we get the Americas in part 1, I assume, right? So we're at the end of where we pick up with part 2. They're finishing South America and going to Antarctica. Then they go up through Africa, then Europe, and then quickly into Russia, so they can get over to Asia, and they go straight to Japan. F you, China. We're just gonna skip that whole part of everything.
Sorry, which country did Speed Racer come from?
I think he came from Japan.
Oh, okay, all right. How do the Japanese feel about the China around the middle of the 20th
Not
century?
too happy with them still in the 60s, I don't think. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I mean, it's their own fault.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, not a lot of love lost there. So, and China in the 60s, probably just best not to touch for multiple reasons of let's just not bring them
I guess
up,
mid 60s,
right?
they were in the middle of the Cultural Revolution.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So That is
Devin Thunderstrike in the chat says there are no roads in China.
at the time.
Could have been
there were
true.
roads. They were just full of people walking.
Yeah.
Quite a lot. Amos, what did you think of this final episode of Speed Racer?
So I didn't take it as like go read the manga because I wasn't thinking about that. I took it as more adventures are to be had with Speed Racer. Now go buy the toys and make your own.
Ah, yeah,
And
okay.
that
There's
might
another
be
play. Yeah, another
specifically
direction.
because I'm, my American upbringing. There's always a merchandise tie-in.
Absolutely, right. I mean,
but
not so
yeah.
much back then, but even then there were some. So, and certainly in Japan there were.
Right, but at least for my frame of reference, growing up in the early '80s, that was everything was a commercial tie-in to a toy. Yeah, and the hands thing, I caught that, but then like Speed Racer was wearing a glove at the time, so I was like, oh, you really these
Very
are really
sensitive
good gloves.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think you're absolutely right. This is the most Speed Racer episode of Speed Racer that we watched, and this is exactly how I remembered it. The others, I was kind of disappointed. This one was like, yeah, it's ridiculous. It's a big race, and crazy things are going on. But at the end of the day, it's just about we got to get to the end as soon as possible with the morality of a good person, trying to help others and actually accomplish the race and not be the one trying to keep people from finishing the race. You just want to finish on your own best.
That was a sweet enough little story. To be honest, if there was any character arc, it was the girl, going from a scarcity mentality to an abundant one.
Do you think this qualifies for FUX? The full experience where you only watch 2 episodes, the first and the last?
I mean, to be honest, it could just be X.
Yeah, I was thinking. I was like, you do get a nice introduction to everybody in the first episode, so that's why I went with 2. But you're right, you could almost
Shouts
just
out
watch
shouts out to hold on, I made notes here. Shouts out to the names Goldminter and Scourge or Scrounge.
Yeah. Also, most we saw of Sparky in any of our watching because he got to co-pilot for a good part of this.
This really felt like if you watched part 1 of this and then the part 2 that we just watched would be like that's the Speed Racer movie, and it's almost self-contained. Like the rest of it is just kind of supporting material for this episode. If you combine the two,
if you like more Speed Racer, then there's these other stories.
Yeah, there's a whole show we did before we did this movie for you.
Yeah, like a movie finale. Huh? Yeah, that's an interesting way to look at it too. Any other thoughts on Speed Racer?
No, I think that we have plumbed all the way to the bedrock of Speed Racer depth.
I now hand it back to my 7-year-old self with his red Halloween football helmet costume that he drew an M on, so it looked like the Mach 5 helmet. And I will leave Speed Racer in his capable hands to enjoy from here on out.
Aw.
Which is where it belongs. Yep.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for watching Speed Racer with us. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Our next watch will be Taxi. Yes, the Andy Kaufman, Danny DeVito,
Christopher Lloyd,
Judd Hirsch.
Judd Hirsch.
Yeah. So we will start next episode with the first episode, Like Father, Like Daughter, from September 12th, 1978. That is next time on The Full Experience. If you would like a say in what we decide, or even just hear us talk about, like, how did you guys decide on Taxi? Get After Talk. The last After Talk is where we decided on Taxi. You can hear it happen in real time. And all you need to do to get After Talk is become a patron at patreon.com/cordkillers. We'll talk to you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
He.
All right, live folks, it is time for us to bid you adieu.
Pew, pew,
Bye.
Bye, everybody.